interesting, thank you. I was wondering whether the kinds of lexical items that were chosen could condition in some way. For example, I was thinking in Spanish, the word chauffeur is not used. I mean, hardly anybody now has a chauffeur. So if I imagine context in which that word would be used, I think in most situations it's a guess. It would be used metaphorically because we don't talk about chauffeurs anymore. And on the other hand, words like mum are words that are of everyday use. So I was wondering whether there could be a difference related to the kind of, the status of the lexical item in their use.
Well, this is why we had the novel items. Not that, there are no buses and discotheques and doctors and social workers, but you don't have, if you Google such utterances as "I'm not your doctor," you get very few examples, and maybe they would be as scarce literally as metaphorically. So the question is, can you come up with similar examples in Spanish with other items? I mean, don't pick on one item, right? You have to understand that this is these results are mean results. Maybe one item, didn't quite behave, but not as badly as to destroy the whole picture. So,
thank you.
I think I had my hand up at some point. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. You didn't seem to have many stimuli where the negative sentence was not only true but also informative. I mean, like, she's not my mom, for example. Where that could be informative, wouldn't you think that in such a case, if there's an intended metaphorical interpretation there, that is derived as an implicature? It seemed to me that in all these cases, when you talk about metaphorical interpretations, you're operating at the explicit level of communication, not distinguishing between what is explicated and what is implicated. Is that right?
Okay. So, having looked at these items, we realize that it's not accidental that they are negative, because I think by nature they are kind of complaints. Okay, you use them in order to express dissatisfaction, not just being descriptive. She's not my mom. This is a mistake, right? This is not my mom. The other woman over there is my mom. This is really the literal meaning. So they were informative of your attitude, of your feelings, of your dissatisfaction or the soul.
Yes, what I said was even the literal interpretation may be informative, and in such cases, maybe what's metaphorical is derived as an implicature. That's my...
Well, the environment of the utterances when interpreted literally was literal.
Again, getting back to typological differences in interpreting your data, I think that it would be very, very interesting to compare your data with languages that have a free word order, or at least relatively free word order. So when you take the case of Hungarian again, a lot depends on focusing with your examples. So when you say, for instance, nem az anyád vagyok. You focus, and I think, in that case, I think the ratio between metaphorical versus non-metaphorical usages would be more distinct, greater, definitely. And when you say nem vagyok az anyád, and so on, there could still be a distinction between the two. I think that would justify your work, but with a lower grade in a sort of ratio between the two kinds of things. So it would be very interesting to compare all the data with languages which have relatively free word order.
But focus and emphasis exist in all the languages, and it's true that an emphatic reading or emphasis really change the the unmarked interpretation of the utterance. This is just the standard case. So of course, you can embed these utterances in different contexts. You can pronounce them differently, or and then you change the whole picture. Sure.
Yes, last question.
All these cases, they are attributional.
They're what?
Attributional.
Okay.
Attributive, you attribute, okay. Did you actually have this case with a negative operator in other types of sentence, other types of utterance?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I don't know if others can, but
all of them are
I've had that.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you actually examine whether you have the negative operator doing what it does here in non-attributional sentences?
Well, what have you? Sorry, have you? Are you finished? Okay. So what I'm saying is, this is a specific construction, and in this construction, it works.
So my question is, why don't you define the construction as a construction, which will take into account its formal characteristics? Because
I will, in due course, I will. Right now, I've established a fact.
okay.
And the fact in itself is really surprising.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Thanks.
All right, so it's coffee time, so please join me in thanking
Thank you
Professor
very
Gila.
much.